Incredible floor stock deals with quick delivery available. Don't miss out. Go Harvey Norman now.
This is truly stunning. He's built the whole garden with his bare hands, and whilst there's been help along the way, it's his vision and drive that's seen this incredible creation evolve into something of true natural beauty. If you'd like to know anything more about the Spirited Garden or Jeju Island, simply visit our website and take one of the links, or you can check out photos of this beautiful garden, of course, on our Facebook page.
There's a lot happening in the garden at the moment. Here are some tips for success. Monitor the lawn for rapidly expanding dead and dying patches, which could indicate a lawn armyworm infestation. As soon as you see it, it's time to treat. Roses are one of my favourite flowers. Don't let diseases like black spot and powdery mildew ruin your roses. Control with an easy-to-use rose spray like Yates Rose Gun. It's time to sow delicious cool season brassica veggies like cabbage, cauliflower, kale and broccoli. For more advice, chat to our experts. Happy gardening!
Many homeowners think that grass is a simple thing. We just go to the shop, we buy it, we roll it out, we water it, we mow it. Well, there's actually a lot more to it. There is R&D behind making sure that that very grass can hold up to the rigours of the Aussie climate. And that's why I've come here to beautiful Echuca. It's on the New South Wales and Victorian border. And it's here that Lawn Solutions Australia runs a very interesting research and development program. Since 2013, LSA has operated the largest turfgrass research and development program in Australia. This is to ensure people like you and I have access to the best turf for our situation. Breeding and developing new turfgrass varieties is a complex and costly thing. There aren't any real significant breeding programs here in Australia, be that government or private, apart from Lawn Solutions Australia. Now, given the prevalence of lawns and the fact we need to keep on top of new developing practices, that really is quite surprising. Lawn Solutions has taken the initiative to invest heavily in turfgrass development, forging partnerships with leading turfgrass breeding institutions worldwide. As a result, they have both bred locally and imported through Australian quarantine the largest turfgrass gene pool ever assembled in Australia. This ensures access to the best materials to develop grasses suited for Australia's future. But how is it all done? What does R&D actually entail here?
We need to know everything about the grass before we send it to the customer. So we need to know texture, quality, green, what it looks like, what it feels like, and make sure it's going to fit our production sense so we can grow it, harvest it, and send it to the customer at its absolute best.
Can you tell us about some of the successes that you've had?
Certainly, we're standing on zoysia at the moment, and Lawn Solutions Australia have picked a new zoysia grass, that's Zoysia australis, and that's gone to market. So that's a success for us. And within that, there are also failures as well. That's what R&D is. So there are ones we've had to spray out that just haven't suited either climate conditions or the way that we want to grow them.
Now, no matter what turf you have, you will undoubtedly run into a few issues with your lawn over time. So what can we do about it? If your lawn is lacking that green vibrancy, it probably means it needs a feed. Now, there are plenty of fertilisers out there, like this one, that will help give it the nutrients and give it that beautiful feed. Weeds are inevitable, and keeping on top of them is a must before they set seed and return year after year. You can knock them out with an all-purpose weed control to get rid of them. And once gone, keep it that way with the use of a pre-emergent like Oxafert. And lastly, Lawn Solutions Australia develop a range of aftercare products, including one of my favourites, Grub Guard Ultimate. But check out this little beauty too, Colour Guard Plus. Now this one's really good for those winter dormant periods in the cooler climates. Put it on and you're going to get a beautiful greener grass for longer.
Well, that's it for another episode of The Garden Gurus. Yes, I'm deadheading my roses to make sure that I get that next flush of roses coming through. But it also allows some of the other plants to shine, like this beautiful blue salvia. Salvias love this time of the year, and the flower display over the next month is going to be sensational. Now, if you want to know anything more from today's show, all you have to do is simply check out our website, or you can become a friend on Facebook and we will answer your gardening questions. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for another great episode of The Garden Gurus. All right, where were we?
This is 9 News, first at 5.
Good afternoon. A young man has been brutally stabbed to death by a group of machete-wielding thugs in Melbourne's southeast. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris with the details.
The vicious brawl took place in this Lyndhurst car park around 8:30 last night in front of shoppers and diners. The 24-year-old victim was sitting in his car when a white Hyundai Kona sedan pulled up. The occupants got out and started smashing the victim's car.
At this stage, it is an ongoing investigation, but we do believe this was a targeted attack and that the parties were known to each other.
The 24-year-old ran off but was stabbed several times. Witnesses and staff caught up in the chaos.
You could see them coming down on the car, you could hear noises. I don't know what it was hitting because I couldn't visually see, and I wasn't in a state to look. I was just in fight or flight.
This is extremely confronting for an incident to play out in the community. An incident that involves edged weapons and machetes is just horrifying.
The victim collapsed in front of a pizza shop and was helped by a worker. He was then taken to hospital but died before he could have surgery.
The victim hasn't been formally identified yet, but we understand he's a 24-year-old male who resides in the local area.
Up to 10 offenders described as African in appearance are now on the run. Police are hoping anyone who witnessed the incident or has dashcam footage can come forward and help with the investigation.
Firefighters are battling an out-of-control bushfire in Melbourne's east, burning close to homes as smoke hazes the area. A watch and act alert has been issued. Residents in Kilsyth and Montrose are being urged to leave. It comes as the city swelters through a heat wave with hot and windy conditions set to continue. A man whose body was found partially buried in a paddock in Sydney's northwest was most likely hit by a car before he died. He's since been identified as 39-year-old father of one, John Birch. Today, forensic teams collected evidence at the Glenorrey property while detectives wait on a post-mortem examination.
It's sad for anybody to have to end their life in such a tragic way.
A woman and two men who were arrested yesterday have since been released. As rising power bills continue to cause pain for Australians, the Teals are leading the charge with a new plan that could save families hundreds of dollars. Here's federal politics reporter Claudia Vidoljak.
As Australians brace for power prices to rise by up to 9%, there's fresh calls for the federal government to make renewables cheaper. Independent MP Sophie Scanlon proposing a policy to slash the cost of household batteries by a third of the price. It would see the Commonwealth subsidise up to $5,000 a year at an annual taxpayer cost of $1.5 billion. Australia has the highest uptake of rooftop solar. 4 million households have installed it, but only 300,000 have batteries which store solar energy for peak usage.
What we need to do is be shifting that energy from the middle of the day to the evening, and the missing piece of the puzzle is batteries. So what we don't have is the political settings to make that happen and happen urgently.
Cost of living for Aussies is our number one priority. It always has been and remains the case today.
The federal government has previously hinted at another round of energy rebates. The exact measures we can expect to see in the upcoming budget, now less than 2 weeks away. With cost of living still the number one issue for Australian voters, the price of power will be one of the biggest battles this upcoming federal election.
Former Wallabies captain Rocky Elsom will appeal a 2-year prison sentence in France after being found guilty of misusing corporate funds during his time as president of rugby union club Narbonne. The 42-year-old was made the subject of an international arrest warrant and fined €100,000. Elsom has not been in court for any of his proceedings, with his whereabouts unknown. President Donald Trump says the US is trying to secure a ceasefire agreement with Russia and Ukraine, praising good discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley reports.
President Trump says there is still a long way to go until a ceasefire agreement can be reached between Russia and Ukraine, but he indicated in front of a gathering at the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. today that there was some optimistic signs, good results, he said, from further talks between the United States and Russia. Ukraine has accepted the initial ceasefire proposal. Now the ball very much in Russia's court, and that of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Today, the G7 foreign ministers, which includes US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, met, and they issued a joint statement reaffirming their commitment to Ukrainian sovereignty. Not long after that, Secretary of State Rubio said he was cautiously optimistic about an agreement being reached. Here's some of what he had to say.
We certainly feel like we're at least some steps closer to ending this war and bringing peace.
President Donald Trump took to social media to issue a plea directly to Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying that he believed Ukrainian soldiers were surrounded by Russia's army and he wanted them spared. Then he provided an update on the ceasefire negotiations in Washington, D.C. Here's some of what the president had to say.
If we can get it with Russia, and it's not easy. It's a tough one.
And tonight, Australian time, Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will be joining other world leaders in talks around peacekeeping forces for Ukraine in the event that a ceasefire deal, an eventual peace deal or truce deal can be reached. The idea being Australia may well be asked to commit peacekeeping troops to the country.
Record crowds are braving the heat at Albert Park, with qualifying just wrapping up at the Australian Grand Prix. Aussie Oscar Piastri to start second on the grid behind teammate Lando Norris. Amber Johnston is there.
Well, if you thought it was hot on the track today, spare a thought for these Formula One fans who have braved the scorching heat to watch that exhilarating qualifying session. Melbourne is infamous for its unpredictable weather, and today was no different. An overcast scorcher serving up humid conditions for Formula One fans. How are you holding up in the heat?
Oh, struggling. We are all melting, obviously. It's a bit hot, but it's tolerable.
Very hot. Very exciting though. First time I've been to Saturday qualifying.
The Australian Grand Prix came prepared for the elements. A 55% increase on shade this year and a 23% increase on water stations to keep fans hydrated and cool.
I melt in the heat. This is fantastic. Yeah. It's such a good idea for a hot day like this.
Despite the sizzling heat, Formula One fanatics still came out in droves, fans packing in like sardines to see homegrown rookie Jack Doohan. But it was a mad dash for Ferrari fans to secure pole position, to catch a glimpse of seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton in red.
It's very, very surreal for me. Everything's the first time. Seeing everyone in red that's a part of our team, and this is the biggest crowd I think I've ever seen here.
In typical Melbourne fashion, it's actually going to be stormy with a little bit of rain tomorrow, which is the last thing drivers want to hear. But for fans here, it's going to make for a thrilling race for the beginning of the season.
In the news ahead, a rally call to end violence against women in Australia. Why a sport at the Brisbane Olympic Games could be played in Melbourne. And Adelaide Zoo's newest residents put on a giant show.
It was the investigation that rocked Australia. But it was just the tip of the iceberg.
The construction sector has become a magnet for the underworld.
What Nick McKenzie cracks open now is more explosive and more rotten than you ever thought. Sunday.
When Macca's new spicy chicken McWrap is calling, you answer. Your boss, on the other hand, can leave a message. Macca's new chicken McWraps available now.
What are you doing?
Got to stay up all night and keep an eye on all the properties we're looking at.
Babe, these are really bad for you.
I know, but I feel amazing. Look at this, I've organized these tabs by price from low to high. But on this browser, I've got them listed from high to low in terms of, how many bedrooms there are. I just gotta make sure that there's at least 2 bathrooms, right?
Never miss a listing update with property alerts. Download the Domain app. Know what we know.
This is the all-new MG ZS Hybrid Plus, where efficiency and power come together as one. Australia's best-selling small SUV just got better. Rethink hybrid. We did.
If you're not in control as a man, you're a beta.
Who are you texting? James. Is everything alright?
Yeah, it's nothing.
You're definitely alright.
Do you know what's influencing your kids? Learn the hidden trends of disrespect before they lead to violence. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Your cat's immune system is one of her natural protective systems. Help strengthen it with Purina One with Immune Defence Plus, a specialty blend that helps support her immune health to help her lead a healthy life. Purina One with Immune Defence Plus.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. On now at Nick Scali.
Thousands of people have rallied in cities across the nation demanding an end to violence against women. Survivors and advocates are calling for more funding and legal changes from state and federal governments. In Melbourne, there was a makeshift memorial honouring more than 100 women killed since last year. Knife-wielding youths have stormed a Melbourne supermarket, making off with thousands of dollars worth of cigarettes and cash. Julia Passarelli reports.
Staff at this IGA in Boronia have been left shaken after they were threatened by a group armed with machetes while working behind the counter last night. CCTV captured 5 masked offenders entering the supermarket around 7:30. They jump to the counter and head straight for the cigarette cabinet. One by one, they take tray loads to their getaway car.
I saw one of them with a machete. I want to say it was about a foot long, a bit more. Painted black, very modern-esque style weapon.
One offender forces a worker to open the till, stealing thousands of dollars in cash. Minutes later, the group try to flee in a Hyundai as a Good Samaritan blocks the road with his ute to try and stop them. But the armed thugs managed to get away.
Just glad nobody got hurt, especially, one of our ladies at the front's in her 70s.
I have nothing to say to them because I know nothing I say will matter, because no matter what you do, this stuff is still going to keep happening.
This comes just 2 days after the Victorian government declared it would outlaw machetes.
I can't believe a Premier wants to stand idly by while machetes stay for sale all the way across Victoria when we're seeing people die on the streets.
Police say the group were travelling in a stolen car. They remain on the run.
A tournament at the Brisbane Olympics is under threat as crucial works to a Queensland arena hang in the balance. As Abby Gearan reports, the tennis could relocate to Melbourne.
Well, the 2032 Olympic Games is supposed to be Brisbane's chance to shine on the world stage, but the city's ability to host tennis events today hangs in the balance. Queensland's tennis centre would require a multi-million-dollar upgrade to bring it up to scratch, and amid mounting financial pressures, Melbourne Park is emerging as an attractive alternative. Brisbane's Pat Rafter Arena has a capacity of 5,500 people, falling well short of the traditional Olympic Games requirements of 3 separate 10,000, 5,000 and 3,000 seat arenas. Tennis Queensland has developed a more modest and cost-effective plan with the International Federation for a $113 million renovation to build an additional 3,000 seat arena and install temporary outdoor seating. But if it's not approved and funded by the state government, officials say matches will need to be shipped interstate and played in Melbourne, a move which would certainly raise some eyebrows. The upgrade proposal was submitted for the 100-day independent review of games venues. The Queensland Government is now considering its recommendations and will hand down its delivery plan on March 25.
It'd be very disappointing, it'd be a travesty if we weren't able to host the Olympics and the Paralympic Games here. One of the joys for tennis players who travel on their own for most of the year to play in the Olympic Games and be part of the Australian team and live in the village and be able to go and watch all the other events is one of the real attractions for them.
But as we've been very clear, we will announce on March the 25th what our plans are around where the events will be held, and today's not March the 25th.
I'm not surprised that people look to Melbourne. We of course have the best sporting facilities in Australia.
Of course, one of the major draw cards for international athletes competing at Brisbane 2032 is the stunning winter weather here. Melbourne temperatures average 7 to 14 degrees in July, far from ideal playing conditions.
A Melbourne palliative care nurse is adding some extra compassion to the toughest of days, empowering an army of volunteers to create personalised bags so belongings can be returned to a patient's family. Stephanie Anderson has the story.
Well, the Year 9 class here at Aquinas College are working away very busily behind us on some amazing bags. It's all part of the Hand Over Heart Work project, which is the brainchild of Bernie Swinkles. You're a palliative care nurse at Eastern Health. Bernie, thank you for joining us. Tell us what this is all about.
Yeah, I've been a palliative care nurse for quite a while, and I was never happy with the blue patient clothing bags that when they pass away, we return the clothing to the families, and I just found they were so impersonal and just showed no dignity. So I just thought it was nice. I started during COVID in lockdown, decorating the brown paper bags, and I just couldn't manage to keep up the demand myself, and yeah, after a year or two, I decided to get the school involved.
You've obviously handed these out to families. How are they received? What's the impact of them?
We've had some really, really positive feedback from them. I think it's just such a little thing that people can do that can make a huge difference.
Bernie, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. The Hand Over Heart Work project, as we just heard from Bernie, lots and lots of room for more people to be lending their hands to some pretty good heart work.
The only pandas in the southern hemisphere are settling into their new home at Adelaide Zoo a few months after their arrival from China. Female Yi Lun exploring bamboo forest, putting on a show for visitors. It's hoped the pair will breed and boost panda stocks, unlike their predecessors who were sent home after 15 years. Coming up in sport, the Cats get their AFL season off to a flyer against the Dockers. Three of rugby league's biggest names pick up injuries on one night. And hometown hero Oscar Piastri wows the crowd in qualifying.
9 Now, it's your one stop for everything footy.
Season 25, let's go.
The biggest matches every round. Streaming live and free. Full replays, extended highlights, mini matches, plus an unrivaled lineup of the best shows and podcasts.
It's a footy fan's dream.
All yours, live and free, 24/7.
9 Now. 9 Now. 9 Now.
Your home of free footy and so much more. 9 Now.
So awkward to brush in circles at the back. What if I don't?
Plaque will build up.
Dr. Rob?
And plaque build-up can lead to cavities. Switch to Oral-B IO. The round brush head hugs each tooth to clean even your back molars to remove up to 100% more plaque. Try Oral-B IO.
It's not about years. Age is power. New Nivea Q10 Day Cream with Q10 and creatine for visibly reduced wrinkles in 7 days. New Nivea Q10 Day Cream SPF 30. Skin is for feeling your power. Nivea is for skin.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like strong biosecurity at our borders. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
take it in. Yeah, we just wanna take it in. Yeah, these are the moments we live for. Once in a lifetime, everything we want and more. This is the start of a new day, the good life. Ooh, these are the moments we live for. These are the moments we live for.
Surprise Prize is back at Macca's, and this week's Surprise Prize draw is a chance to win a World Fry Tour.
Bonjour et bienvenue chez McDo.
Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes.
Love. Stay is at the crossroads. Or leave. Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
Geelong has kicked off its 2025 AFL campaign with a thumping 78-point win over Fremantle. The Dockers looked in with a chance when debutant Murphy Reid kicked 4 goals in 4 minutes, but the Cats were too strong at home.
Spins, they all leave him alone, and this might be one of the goals of the day. That also caps off a brilliant afternoon from the young ruckman.
Bailey Smith starred in his first game for his new club, collecting 32 disposals and kicking a goal. To rugby league, Manly coach Anthony Seibold has played down concerns about injuries to his star players, picked up in last night's shock loss to the Warriors. Daly Cherry Evans is likely to play next week despite suffering back spasms, while Tom Trebojevic was forced off with a hamstring problem.
The latest is that he's got a little bit of tightness through his lower back and left hammy, but the medical staff aren't too concerned. But he'll get a scan tomorrow just to be certain with everything.
Panther Dylan Edwards will also have scans on a groin injury he picked up in a 38-32 Roosters defeat. Oscar Piastri will start from the front row in tomorrow's Australian Grand Prix. The Aussie almost secured pole and had the locals on their feet as he took the lead in qualifying before McLaren teammate Lando Norris snatched it from him.
And he takes pole by less than 1/10 of a second. It's McLaren 1 and 2.
Tomorrow's race begins at 3 p.m. Tomorrow's forecast is next, but first here's a look at what's coming up in 9 News at 6.
Tonight in NBN News, from Newcastle to Lake Macquarie, locals take a stand against domestic violence. Detection canines hunting Chinese violet at Port Stephens, and Julian Wilson's competitive comeback off to a winning start at Surfest. That's next.
You played an amazing game. It's time the machine paid out for you.
In a must-see Monday, don't miss a second. Tipping Point, Monday at 5 on 9.
Take me back to the morning light with you. Take me back to the morning light with you.
All aboard! Everyone's welcome here. There's plenty of room on the bandwagon.
Seagull trains are coming. I hear it just in hand. I hear the car is moving. Get on board, get on board. Get on board. Get on board.
Hey Gilly, we're going to need a bigger float.
There's no room in there. Get on board. Get on board.
Big banks talk about security, but understanding what it means to you, it's better to go bigger.
With multi-factor authentication and focus on helping customers bank safely online, join a bank that's bigger. For you, Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
Cliche if it's not making dollars, baby, it's not making sense. How you picky with your art when you can't even pay your rent? Shorty get inspired. How about that? This time, shorty get.
If you're an Amy customer impacted by the recent cyclone, we're here for you. To make a claim, download the Amy app or go to amy.com.au. Amy, here for you. Insurance issued by AAI Limited, trading as Amy.
Meet Maddie. She could spend her last $50 on a packet of cigarettes.
Instead, she spends it on what matters most.
Feed the mob, not the habit.
Do you suffer with acne? All Medic is an acne program designed and developed by doctors. All Medic works towards addressing existing skin problems and impeding future outbreaks for both teenagers and adults. Go to allmedic.net.au. All Medic. Affordable, simple, effective.
Go Harvey Norman Bedding floor stock clearance. Hurry in for big savings on quality mattresses and adjustable bases, kids and bedroom furniture, pillows, quilt covers and more. All priced to clear. Incredible floor stock deals with quick delivery available. Don't miss out. Go Harvey Norman now.
Australia's greatest rugby rivalry ignites. Our undefeated Waratahs take on the Reds. Wow. Super Rugby Pacific, tonight on 9 and Stan Sport.
To the weather details now. Parts of southwestern Australia have received their heaviest rain in more than a decade. Elsewhere, high pressure is continuing to deliver hot conditions for Victoria and South Australia. A cool change to come tonight. Hobart is heading for 22 degrees with snow expected in some parts of Tasmania. Melbourne is set to reach 26 degrees before a cool change. 26 degrees for Adelaide as well, with up to 9 millimetres of rain. After a low of 19, Brisbane should warm up to 30 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Very hot conditions ahead for Sydney. It'll stay warm tonight before going on to reach 27 degrees tomorrow. A shower or two for Canberra, 33 degrees. Showers for Darwin, up to 10 millimetres. After a low of 24, it's heading for 33. And mostly sunny conditions on the way for Perth, a top of 29. Well, that's 9 News for this afternoon. Our next bulletin is coming up at 6 o'clock. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Hello there. Welcome to Getaway. I hope you are ready to cruise the Caribbean in comfort.
This is the holiday that dreams are made of.
We'll be spending the night in prison.
Housing some of the country's most terrifying criminals. This was a place you most definitely wanted to avoid.
But first up, some family-friendly fun in Singapore.
It's not just food and shopping that Singapore does well. If you're travelling with kids and you'd like to have some family fun, you've come to the right place. Children and family are at the centre of Singaporean culture, and that's reflected in the sheer number of family-friendly activities on offer. There really is something for everyone. And just to be clear, that's for the young and the young at heart.
Whether you are a repeat visitor to Singapore or it's your first time out of the airport, you are always guaranteed something new. This place is constantly reinventing itself. The bird paradise here at the Mandai Wildlife Reserve is one of Asia's biggest bird parks, with everything from hornbill to penguins.
Mandai Wildlife Reserve is our new precinct where we have all our zoos. We have the Singapore Zoo, the River Wonders, the Night Safari, and now the brand new Bird Paradise, and in future our Rainforest Park as well. It's over 126 hectares total. It's the space to come and connect with animals, with nature, and hopefully get inspired to protect them and listen to our conservation message as well. We are currently in our South American flooded savanna area. It's called Crimson Wetlands.
Oh, wow.
And you see all the macaws flying around us, the flamingos,
incredible.
The scarlet ibises, the spoonbills.
I just cannot believe we're walking along and just seeing macaws sitting there, and they look so in love. They're so snuggled.
So when you start seeing them like this in twos, they're bonded pairs. So by now they're going to start looking for nesting places, and hopefully in a couple of months we'll have baby macaws.
They do not do things by halves in Singapore. This place is truly vast. Next stop, Africa.
As you can see here, we have 3 different species of birds here. The one on my shoulder is called African grey parrot. As you can see, she's trying to rip my name tag off. Maybe I need to take this out first.
That shows that she's so comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Do you look after her every day?
Yes, every day she'll come and find me.
Aww.
Yeah, so she's the closest to me.
Bird Paradise is called that for a reason. The animals here really do get the best of care.
Oh, how sweet is that?
And if you want to see how things work behind the scenes, you can add in a visit to the vet centre.
Behind the hospital here is actually our breeding centre.
Oh,
so
right.
we do breed quite a lot of Southeast Asian species of birds.
Are some of these animals endangered? So that's a really important program.
Yeah. So some of them are critically endangered as well.
Oh, really?
So the breeding that we do here really does contribute directly to conservation.
All that bird watching has worked up an appetite. Luckily, Singapore has the perfect family-friendly way to cool down.
Okay, there's not much I can say about this place. It's a museum dedicated to ice cream. It's bright, it's colourful, it's probably the pinkest place you'll ever visit. It's kind of like an ice cream sundae exploded across every room, and there's unlimited ice cream to be eaten. There's no words. There's just no words.
Everybody that comes through the space has to have a unique ice cream name tagged onto them. Do you have any ideas?
My favourite ice cream is choc chip, so could I be Choc Chip Charlie?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
There.
Right over here.
And now the fun begins?
Yes, let's go. So this is California, and this is the first street station of the Museum of Ice Cream. Over here, we serve two types of flavors. There's chocolate on chocolate and pink coconut. What are you feeling today?
I might go pink, please.
All right.
Thank you. So what's so Californian about this?
I mean, you can see the fake tree plants about it. It's like all the palm trees.
I love this, but I just want to keep going.
You want to keep going? Okay, let's go.
They did say it's for the young and the young at heart, right?
Oh man. So we also serve ice cream sandwiches, which is very local on the streets of Singapore.
I have seen these on the streets. Can I try the taro milk actually? It's a sandwich, ice cream sandwich.
Goodbye.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my goodness. I feel like a kid, huh? Alright, Charlie, so we're now at my favorite place, and we are having frozen strawberry cheesecakes.
Just when I thought I couldn't get better at this place.
Cheers to ice cream!
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream! Oh, this place is so much fun, and the ice cream is addictive. In fact, I think my crew have deserted me and gone back for more.
After the break, a prison stay has never looked so tempting.
Now, this is somewhere that I would be happy to serve a sentence.
Tonight in NBN News, the international manhunt for a former Wallabies captain, Rocky Elsom, sentenced to 2 years in prison by a French court. His whereabouts unknown. 4 times the size of Canberra. Why the science world is talking about this mega iceberg. The US influencer at the centre of a wombat storm apologises and then hits back. And the latest injury updates on Tom Trbojevic, Daly Cherry Evans and Dylan Edwards. Those stories and more at 6.
Discover the award-winning Emerald Cruises luxury yacht experience. Cruise in style and explore the cultures of the Mediterranean and idyllic islands of the Caribbean. With only up to 128 guests and customised inclusions. Embark on a voyage of a lifetime in 2026 from $7,945 per person. Book now with your travel advisor or visit emeraldcruises.com.au.
What are you up to?
Just about to double our network.
Wow.
Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated. Return to route. Double coverage activated.
Now with double the network coverage, make your move to Vodafone.
Take me back to the morning light with you. Take me back.
You know what's better than a Big Four bank?
A bank that's bigger for me.
Bigger for making my money work harder.
And helping my business make it.
Bigger for helping us to buy a home. Bigger for the community I care about.
My bank is bigger for what matters most. As Australia's most trusted bank, 2.5 million Aussies know that Bendigo Bank is bigger for them. And we're bigger for you.
Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
We invite you to discover the world's 7th continent, Antarctica. Viking's Explorer sale is on now. For a limited time only, enjoy free flight offers when you book your Antarctic voyage. See your Viking travel agent or visit viking.com.
If you can't live without Netflix,
Can't live without Netflix.
then you can't live without the AGL Netflix electricity plan. With Netflix included for the life of your plan.
AGL do that.
Join AGL's Netflix electricity plan today.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. On now at Nick Scully.
This program brought to you by Emerald Cruises. Discover a new era of luxury yacht cruising today.
For many decades, Pentridge was known for all the wrong reasons, housing some of the country's most terrifying criminals. This was a place you most definitely wanted to avoid. Fast forward to today, and it is attracting a clientele of a very different type.
Pentridge is the largest prison complex ever built in the state of Victoria and sits just a few k's north of Melbourne CBD in the suburb of Coburg. This heritage-listed prison has been transformed into a dining and entertainment precinct, as well as shops and restaurants. There's 2 accommodation options: the Adina, a modern multi-storey hotel, and the Interlude, built into the old prison buildings of what was formerly known as B Division. The Interlude has 19 converted suites that are warm, inviting and ultra-luxurious, a complete contrast to its original purpose.
Now this is somewhere that I would be happy to serve a sentence. From 5 prison cells to 1 luxury suite, it is quite the transformation. And it was no easy feat. Without any blueprints, engineers had to work with what was in front of them. Little things like the aircon is under the bed. Normally you would put it in the roof, but the roof is full of rubble to stop prisoners escaping.
Many parts of the prison are preserved in the original state, and the National Trust runs tours so visitors can explore the inner workings of this historic site.
So here we are outside H Division, or Hell Division as it was known back in the day. It was a maximum security division, kind of a punishment division within Pentridge, where the harshest and most difficult criminals were housed. It was created in 1958 after an infamous escape, and it operated until 1994.
This has a very creepy vibe to it.
It does, yeah. So there are 39 cells in each division, and they're on 2 tiers. You call them tiers in a prison. And this is where the hardest prisoners were housed.
It wasn't just the living conditions of H Division that were hellish, but the daily routine.
So here we are in one of the labour yards, which were the rock-breaking yards. Prisoners would spend 8 hours a day out here breaking bluestones. They would use those hammers to break them into fist-sized pieces by lunchtime, and then they spent their afternoon making thumbnail-sized pieces out of them.
And what did they use the smaller rock for?
Nothing. It was just pointless labour, just really to show them that they were here to be punished and spend their day doing this hard labour that was for nothing.
This is a very small kitchen.
It is. It's called a scullery in prison lingo.
What kind of food were they eating?
Not very appetising. So they would have spent 8 hours a day breaking rocks out in the yards, and then they'd have just a really cheap stew generally for breakfast, usually porridge. So whatever was cheapest and easiest, yeah.
These days, the prison's mess hall has been converted into a very swish destination restaurant. North and Common is accessed from both the Adina and the Interlude. What was your initial thought when you were asked to open a restaurant in a prison?
It was a little bit of a surprise, I'll be honest. I think the build is absolutely amazing though. You know, to convert something that's got so much history into something as beautiful as it is pretty impressive. We're sort of very much focused on local producers and farms. We've got a couple of farms within sort of 10 to 20 minutes away, and we let them guide what we do on the menu. So very focused on seasonality and making sure that we're using what's coming out of those really amazing suppliers.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
There's also an on-site wine bar. And strictly for Interlude guests, there's a subterranean pool by appointment only, making this a stay to remember.
I imagine prisoners in Pentridge would have spent many hours plotting their escape. However, I am hatching a plan to linger a little longer.
After the break, surprises in the Queensland outback.
And look at that. Vegan fish. Vegan. At least we caught something.
Council's local traffic committee will send engineers to examine solutions.
These Maitland Council workers will journey north to help clear local roads and footpaths.
The Trampoline Centre of Excellence set to play host to future World Cups too.
With the ball in hand, the Knights weren't giving it up to win 10-8.
Discover the award-winning Emerald Cruises luxury yacht experience. Cruise in style and explore the cultures of the Mediterranean and idyllic islands of the Caribbean. With only up to 128 guests and customised inclusions, embark on a voyage of a lifetime in 2026 from $7,945 per person. Book now with your travel advisor or visit emeraldcruises.com.au.
Hurry, this $6.2 million dream choice is closing soon. Would you choose the Sky Home on the Sunshine Coast or the Beach House in Mornington Peninsula? Tickets just $5. Search Dream Home Art Union today.
School has started, but Ava is already trying to catch up. Don't let poverty stand in the way of her potential. Sponsor a child now to provide the essentials they need.
You know what's better than a Big Four bank?
A bank that's bigger. For me.
Bigger. For what matters most. 2.5 million Aussies know that Bendigo Bank is bigger for them. And we're bigger for you.
Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Not so good for that. But for a brilliant bake they'll love to bits, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
This is what pre-flight mornings Newcastle Airport. That's the Newey way.
Book your Viking River Cruise by 15 March and fly free to Europe. Plus save an additional $800 per couple of any Viking River Cruise deal. Book with Hello World Travel, your Viking cruise experts.
Hello World Travel, we're the travel professionals. Shorty get inspired. How about that? How about that? This time, shorty get.
I want that face.
Find the place to get that face with a too great to wait holiday deal at Queensland.com.
This land, buried secrets.
So Swift went on a random shooting spree. Do police have any other theories?
But the truth,
I want to see if there's a bigger story here.
won't die.
What bigger story?
For the first time, the Stan original drama.
Careful who you trust.
No one
Tell the truth.
is what they seem.
Do it for the town.
Scrublands starts Tuesday after Married on 9.
This little town is affectionately known as the friendly heart of the outback, and the people that you meet out here are some of the nicest that you will meet anywhere in Queensland. Now the locals, they call her the Curry, and in terms of an outback Aussie experience, this is about as authentic as they come. Cloncurry was founded as a rich mining and farming hub out here in central Queensland. It's an area built on that true blue pioneering spirit.
Cloncurry was discovered in 1867 for the minerals. It was copper that Ernest Henry found, and the same year gold was found here.
The Unearthed Visitor Information Centre is really the first point of call to get to know the town, the locals, and its colourful heritage.
So the gold brought the Chinese here and the Afghans, and we had one of the first mosques in Queensland. We had all different nationalities here in the early days, so it was a very multicultural town.
Cloncurry is a small dot on the map but has a huge story to tell. From its Indigenous past right through to its connection with the legendary explorers Burke and Wills, who actually named the town. It's also home to one of the most famous mines in Australia.
One of the things that the tourists come here to find out more about is the history on Mary Kathleen mines. We've got the Geiger counters that was used to discover the uranium. Mary Kathleen was the wife of Norm McConaughey. He named it in memory of his late wife. But there's a lot of mines around this area that has wives' names, daughters' names, so...
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get one named after Gail? No. Still in the making.
Not famous enough.
Also celebrating the town's ingenuity is the John Flynn Place Museum. It honours the birthplace of the Royal Flying Doctor Service, which brought vital medical care to remote regions of Australia. Back in 1928, John Flynn, who you'll know from our $20 note, was working out here with the church, and he realised that Outback Australia needed a doctor's service to deal with the high mortality rate that was happening at the time. So he teamed up with a young pilot called Kenyon St Vincent Welsh, and the Royal Flying Doctor Service was formed. And that opened up Australia in a way never seen before. They also came up with the world's first pedal-powered radio. The museum is a tribute to these Aussie legends and the Flying Doctor experiment, which turned into one of the most valuable services in Australia. But pioneering stories are only one aspect of Cloncurry. And just out of town lies AU Rail Walk that guides visitors through a series of stories which you access on your phone as you follow the pathway. Mate, you must be pretty happy you've got this just outside of town. Yeah, it's pretty good. Locals get out here on the weekends and bring their boats and jet skis and all the family out. Recently built the playground and the barbecue area. They even got a pontoon over there for the kids and that to swim. And how's the fishing? Yeah, the fishing's great, eh? It's good. Barra and black premier, yeah. The kids love it. Oh, this is what it's all about. Chatting with the locals, learning a few of the secrets and trying your luck in outback Queensland. Here we go. Now we just need to catch a fish, Ian. Yeah. Hey, Ian, look at that. Vegan fish. Vegan. At least we caught something. Yeah, that's right.
After the break, it's lunchtime in the Caribbean.
I've got my lobster, I've got my sides, I've got a beer, and I've got this $1 million view right in front of me. Hard to imagine a better lunch scenario.
Tonight in NBN News, Australia's youngest killer walks free from prison. The hunter in northern New South Wales swelters, and there's more to come. When will the cool change arrive? The international manhunt for a former Wallabies captain, Rocky Elsom, sentenced to 2 years in prison by a French court. His whereabouts still unknown. And the latest injury updates on Tom Trbojevic, Daly Cherry Evans and Dylan Edwards. Details in NBN's Hour of News tonight at 6.
Back on duty and loving it. King Charles and Princess Kate put their health battles behind them. But what's going on behind the scenes? See you at 7.
Discover the award-winning Emerald Cruise. With only up to 128 guests and customised inclusions. Embark on a voyage of a lifetime in 2026 from $7,945 per person. Book now with your travel advisor or visit emeraldcruises.com.au.
Hey, how much is this bad boy selling for?
As I said the last time, I'm just the sign guy.
But you must have heard something. On the sign, grapevine, on the DL, sign man on the inside. You can trust us.
We trust you with our lives.
What?
What?
You can tell me the actual price, okay? I won't tell anyone. You wouldn't believe the secrets I keep. I'm in a mother's group. Do you also put the sold stickers up?
No property price estimates trusted by the banks. Download the Domain app. Know what we know.
We'll be the place where the ocean meets the sky. We'll soak it up and have the time of our lives. We'll make these memories our own Hall of Fame. Cause we just wanna take it in. Yeah, we just wanna take it in. Yeah, these are the moments we live for. Once in a lifetime, everything we want more. This is the start of a new day, the good life. These are the moments we live for.
Open up, let us in. Sunday.
I came here to find my forever person, and I wholeheartedly hope that it's Jeff.
Love is at the crossroads.
I feel inadequate sometimes.
The only way ahead
I cannot be with someone who won't support me.
is the roar.
If I'm in a coma, I need to know that my husband's going to step up to the plate.
Heart-wrenching truth.
I don't believe you at all.
Someone is lying. Stay or leave.
Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
This program brought to you by Emerald Cruises. Discover a new era of luxury yacht cruising today.
There's nothing like telling your friends and family that you're going on a tropical island holiday to make them a little envious. Add into that you'll be travelling on a luxury super yacht. Oh yeah, and you'll be cruising through the Caribbean. And if they're still talking to you, well, they'll probably be thinking this is the holiday that dreams are made of. And they'd be absolutely right.
The Caribbean is not a single destination, but an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands, sitting between North and South America. We've jumped aboard Emerald Sakara for the cruise of a lifetime, through some of the Caribbean's ultimate hotspots. Today's breathtakingly beautiful port of call is Tobago Keys, a group of several uninhabited islands in the southern Grenadines. We're stopping off at Petite Batu. It's the largest of Tobago Keys Islands, but is small enough to stroll around in just a few minutes.
Are there any other marine parks in the Caribbean, or is this
Yes,
kind of
there is
unique?
other. There is one in St. Lucia. There's one in Antigua that's called Devil Park. There's also a small one in Carriacou.
While no one lives here permanently, locals from neighbouring islands come in to offer snorkel tours and a smorgasbord of local delicacies.
I heard a rumour we might be having lobster for lunch. Is that true?
Yes, fresh lobster.
Big Mama, did you know that lobster's my favourite?
No.
Oh, I thought you might
But
have
I'm
been.
happy to know that.
Thought you might have been doing that for me especially.
Yes, for you especially.
Okay, we'll just run with that. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Well, I'm very excited about lunch today. Thank you.
You will enjoy it.
Lobster is a local specialty, but with Tobago Keys being a protected marine park, they're sourced on the outer islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. With a spread like this, it's not going to be hard for me to make friends in the Tobago Keys. I've got my lobster, I've got my sides, I've got a beer, and I've got this $1 million view right in front of me. Hard to imagine a better lunch scenario. Cheers. While Emerald Sakara is at anchor, guests have the choice to spend their days off ship or on board, taking full advantage of all this luxury yacht has to offer. It's one of the classiest ships on the water, and in a place like the Caribbean, that's saying something. But perhaps its finest feature of all is the marina deck, which opens up when weather allows, so us guests can swim, paddleboard, kayak and sea bog straight off the back of the ship. After exploring some of the finest islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're headed north to St. Lucia. St. Lucia is one of 13 sovereign nations in the Caribbean, an independent territory with its own government.
We are independent since 1979, but we're still part of the British Commonwealth.
Okay, so it is still a Commonwealth country. Love cricket?
We love cricket. I love cricket.
Now, what about the language on the island? Are we speaking English, French, Creole?
The island is bilingual. We speak English and Creole. Now, Creole is a mixture of French, African, Spanish, and English grammar.
All right, now what kind of Creole phrases can you teach me? What do I need to know in Creole?
So if I want to tell you, how are you doing? I will say, Sakafet.
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 And then you will respond, I am fine, thank you. You say, moi bien, merci.
Muy bien, merci.
Muy
So
bien,
kind of
merci.
French there,
That's
right?
correct.
You just got to add a little Caribbean, swagger to
That's correct. You got it.
St. Lucia is undeniably rich in culture and beauty, but it's the island's natural wonders that it's most famous for. Now you've got the hot Caribbean sun, and on top of that we got the heat coming off this volcanic activity and the sulphur here.
Yeah, it's actually, we call it the hubble, bubble, toil and trouble area.
Oh, I can see
Mark
why.
Webb Shakespeare?
Yeah.
This is escaping from the center of the earth. So right now you are standing in a potentially active volcano.
Oh, geez.
Know that it's not going to erupt today. I mean, we are monitoring it very closely.
This is no ordinary volcanic sightseeing spot. As well as witnessing the bubbling wonder, we can lather ourselves in therapeutic mud, all within the only drive-in volcano on the planet. So apparently you put the sulphur mud on your skin and it's going to de-age you by about 10 years. Oh, a bit more of this and I'll be 18 years of age again, eh? Then teaching me Creole, putting mud on my back. We got a real thing going here, girl. Join Emerald Cruises in the Caribbean or Mediterranean and discover the magic of luxury yacht cruising. All meals, drinks, selected shore excursions and more are included. Secure your unforgettable 2026 or 2027 departure today with super early bird savings from $1,500 per person. Getaway viewers can save an additional $250 per person off the Emerald Cruises Luxury Yacht Collection. For more information or to request your voucher, visit emeraldcruises.com.au/getaway offer. Call 1300 390 386 or speak to your travel advisor.
Thank you so much for travelling with us this evening. Next week, our Caribbean cruise takes us to the celebrity hotspot of St. Bart's.
So I should fit right in with my super yacht.
Plus, we're in Thailand, enjoying an immersive plough-to-plate experience.
We get to enjoy the fruits of our labour.
and all that hard work makes this taste even better.
Until then, travel safely and bon voyage.
Tonight, wanted wallaby, former Australia captain Rocky Elsom sentenced to 2 years in jail in France. A chilling stare we can't show you. Australia's youngest convicted killer walks out of Long Bay Jail. A war of words breaks out over Australia's potential involvement in a Ukraine peacekeeping mission. The Teals election pitch to slash power bills. And rookie Jamie Humphries the hero as Souths break the Dragons' hearts.
This is NBN News with Jane Goldsmith.
Good evening. Former Wallabies captain Rocky Elsom is tonight a global fugitive after a French court sentenced him to 2 years in prison for misusing funds from a local rugby club. He's told NBN News he plans to fight the conviction in the hope of returning to a normal life.
On the rugby pitch, he was a feared flanker and captain of the Wallabies.
There's no one there! Rocky Elsom! Rocky Elsom!
Rocky Elsom now in a bind with French authorities, on the run and facing 2 years in prison.
I'm still wanted, I'm still to be detained, and I still have the conviction.
Yesterday, a French court convicted the 42-year-old of the abuse of assets relating to a salary paid in advance during his time as president with French rugby union club Narbonne. He was also fined €100,000 with half that amount suspended. Charges of fraud and embezzlement were withdrawn and an original 5-year prison term downgraded. Elsom hasn't been in court for any of his proceedings, returning to Australia and then to Ireland, where he's now fled.
Ireland were obliged to extradite me, so I was like, you cannot get taken in for this. You cannot get arrested for this.
While laying low, he hasn't been staying silent, speaking with media, even appearing on a podcast to try clear his name.
If I was detained, right, this conversation, preparing documents, it gets very difficult. I could be detained for a long time. It's unlikely that I'd get bail in.
We've spoken with Rocky today, who is yet to reveal where he's hiding out. He did, however, say he plans on appealing the latest sentence through his lawyer and is hoping to have his arrest warrant lifted. That will be decided by the courts in a few months. In the meantime, Elsom remains a fugitive. James Wilson, NBN News.
As Australians face a steep increase to their power bills, there's a fresh push to make renewable energy cheaper for households. The Teals leading the charge with a plan they say could save families hundreds of dollars.
Marking the change of season, the Prime Minister at a Hindu celebration of colour and culture in Western Sydney. But for Australians, there's little to celebrate about this week's power price hike of up to 9%.
The cost of energy, it's killing them.
Covering the cost of household batteries could be part of the solution. Independents proposing a new policy to subsidise a third of the price up to $5,000, saving families $1,500 annually, but costing taxpayers $1.5 billion a year.
We have the technology. What we don't have is the political settings to make that happen and happen urgently.
Of the 4 million households with solar in Australia, only 300,000 have batteries, allowing consumers to store extra power in the day for when prices peak at night.
It makes the power cheaper, it's cleaner, and it's more reliable.
Cost of living for Aussies is our number one priority. It always has been.
Hip pocket pressures are still the biggest concern for voters, according to a new survey from Finder. Groceries, rent and energy bills front of mind for 75% of Australians, followed by healthcare and housing.
We'll need to see some sort of relief for households in the upcoming budget, that the government is going to need to be cautious not to introduce relief that in any way pushes up inflation.
The price of power will be a key issue in the upcoming federal election, one that will be once again fought on the cost of living, only this time with new uncertainties.
US President Donald Trump threatening further trade restrictions, putting economies around the world on edge. Claudia Radoljak, NBN News.
A display of support for the Prime Minister this morning, with members of the New South Wales Teachers Federation gathering in Sydney to launch their own campaign ahead of the election. They're trying to protect a $4.8 billion funding agreement for public schools, which they say is at risk if Peter Dutton wins. They've arranged a mobile billboard to travel through key electorates. The home addresses of almost 20 former coalition ministers has been published online, leaving some fearing for their own safety. Premier Chris Minns's department failed to redact the sensitive information from documents before uploading them online. Former Premier Dominic Perrottet and Liberal leader Mark Speakman are among those who had their addresses published. Very good and productive. That's how Donald Trump has described ceasefire discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tonight, our Prime Minister is hours away from joining a call with world leaders as a war of words broke out over Australia's possible involvement in a peacekeeping force.
In lockstep with his new Attorney General, Donald Trump walking into the very department that once investigated him.
Our predecessors turned this Department of Justice into the Department of Injustice, but I stand before you today to declare that those days are over.
The US President railing against what he has long called the enemy within, before turning toward Russia.
We're speaking with President Putin. We want to get the war over.
Donald Trump says good calls have been made, today praising his relationship with Putin.
We've had some very good talks about it. We had a good relationship and we had a professional relationship, and his respect for this country.
And in Russia, the flattery came right back. Vladimir Putin applauding Trump for doing everything to improve US-Russia relations, but holding out on going all in for a ceasefire. The situation seems to be moving. Let's see what comes of it, he said.
It's not easy. It's a tough one, but I think we're doing it.
Ukraine's leader remains cautious. It is important to push Russia to be constructive, to end all these Russian manipulations, President Zelensky said. This is a US-backed plan, but almost 40 world leaders are in the push for peace. Tonight, our Prime Minister preparing for a call convened by Britain to lay out how to preserve a truce which could involve peacekeeping troops.
Peter Dutton decided to back Vladimir Putin on the issue of peacekeepers rather than Australia.
That's grossly offensive and ridiculous thing to say.
But we certainly feel like we're at least some steps closer to ending this war and bringing peace.
In the United States, Lauren Tomasi, NBN News.
The leader of terrorist group Islamic State in Iraq and Syria has been killed. The operation was undertaken by members of the Iraqi National Intelligence Service and US-led coalition forces. Iraq and Syria have promised to work together to combat terrorism. Back home now, and Australia's youngest murderer has spent his first day in the community after walking free from Long Bay Jail. James Wilson joins us live now. James, what can you tell us about his release?
Known only as SLD for legal reasons, Australia's youngest killer walked from Long Bay Jail this morning after serving nearly 25 years behind bars for the murder of toddler Courtney Morley Clark on the Central Coast in 2001. We can't show you his face, but behind this blur, the now 37-year-old stopped and gave a chilling stare to our camera before hopping into a waiting vehicle. It's understood he was driven to a halfway house where he will have to remain unless he's escorted by 2 officers. The state government didn't want him free. Multiple psychologists have said he poses a high risk of reoffending. Jane, the irony is because he was just 13 at the time of this horrific killing, he will remain anonymous to the public.
James Wilson reporting there, thank you. Routine childhood vaccination rates are slipping according to new data from the Grattan Institute. There are now 53 areas across Australia where more than 10% of 1-year-olds are not fully vaccinated. That's up from 11 areas in 2020. Health authorities have blamed a lack of trust in the government and public health measures during the pandemic for the decline. There could soon be a name and shame list for real estate agents caught illegally underquoting on auction guides. The New South Wales Fair Trading Minister has floated the idea of a public register to stamp out the practice. More than 890 properties in Sydney sold for 20% over the initial listing price last year. 14 women have already lost their lives in Australia this year, and today there's been gatherings across Newcastle to honour them. Locals calling for change to stop the scourge.
Wendy Lee George, Antoinette Tozer.
Names and faces of 117 Australian women who have lost their lives since January 2024. She Matters rallies held today in Civic Park and across the country in their honour to call for the number of deaths to stop increasing.
It breaks my heart that women in this country cannot walk the streets and live in their own home and feel safe.
Hunter organisation Nova for Women and Children supported 1,700 women and children last year, an increase of 500 in need in the last 5 years. Kylie Thompson is a survivor, sharing her story with the crowd.
We need to change the rhetoric around this and change the discussion, change the narrative.
Early intervention and prevention can break that cycle. So starting from very little children in preschool and then all the way through life, and hopefully really pushing that generational shift.
Meanwhile, 250 riders took to the road for Gabriella Thompson, who was killed at the hands of her ex-partner in Glendale in 2019. The ride through local areas, now in its 6th year, to raise funds for DV organisations.
We just do what we got to do. Just more want to keep her memory alive, you know. Try and just get this crap to stop.
Jessica Warboys, NBN News.
The Greens are ramping up their federal election campaign in Newcastle. Councillor and candidate for the seat, Charlotte McCabe, hoping to poll ahead of the Liberals and make the seat marginal. Volunteers are aiming to knock on 15,000 doors in the lead-up.
Newcastle is a progressive town. They've always cared about the rights of workers. They've cared about the environment. We think that that's why there are so many people in Newcastle that are looking for a party that represents their values.
The Greens say they know they won't beat Labor this time, but this is part of a two-pronged strategy to win the seat in 2028. Knights fans have had their first taste of a new trial, seeing full-strength beer on sale at McDonald Jones Stadium. The state government will undertake a 6-month trial of the initiative, which includes Sydney's CommBank and Accor stadiums. The government will work with police, liquor authorities, industry partners and fans to determine whether the move is a success and if the change will be made permanent. Work has begun on the Hunter Valley's next tourist attraction, with the $1 billion 10-year build of Lovedale Farm starting today. Spanning 240 hectares, the facility will feature 500 residential homes, an 18-hole golf course and a resort. 1,250 jobs are expected to be generated during the construction phase. The first 200 homes and the golf course are expected to be complete by mid-2027. Sniffing out problem weeds, so-called detection canines have been hunting Chinese violet at Port Stephens, and the local council tries to stop its spread. The area is one of the few spots in Australia where the plant, which smothers native bushland, has taken hold.
It is like finding a needle in a haystack, and these dogs will really help narrow down the areas that we need to be focusing in on.
A day of searching, treats, rewards, and then a swim. I don't think anything could beat it for them.
Daisy the Cocker Spaniel and Henry the Border Collie have been out and about in suburbs, including Boat Harbour, over the recent days. Residents of a Denman aged care facility are licking their lips after being selected to participate in a national food program. It aims to improve dining and nutrition through good old-fashioned country cooking.
Morning tea time at Merton Living Aged Care in Denman, and something special is brewing.
They've got big cheesy grins today because the muffins are coming out of the oven in a minute.
The stock standard jelly cups have moved out and professional chef Paul McDonald has moved in.
It's the industry that cuisine has forgotten.
Putting nutritious food back on the menu, Paul's skills are on offer through the Maggie Beer Foundation, which is serving 120 facilities across Australia.
Everybody's been eating more. even the residents who don't usually eat too much. So nutrition's been fantastic, and just the excitement of trying different flavours.
Founded 18 months ago, the federally funded program is lifting food standards in aged care homes 1 meal at a time.
Every bite counts, so we make sure that you've got really good protein throughout the day at every meal part, so that we can first of all make sure the residents are healthier for longer.
Nutrition's so important for each of our residents on every level. It's for their emotional and physical well-being.
After spending the week in-house, Paul will now provide the staff with training and meals for the next 12 months.
We've asked for a full list of calorie counts and macros in the recipes, just to be sure. Just for us. Just for
As for the critics...
Very good in the hole.
And have you had a favourite over the last week?
Oh, I eat anything.
Jack Howard's NBN News.
Thousands braved the heat for the 135th Upper Hunter Show at the Muswellbrook Showgrounds. The strongman competition, wood chopping and rides were all highlights. And as always, the event had a special nod to the region's agricultural sector.
Still plenty of agriculture around here, but there's a lot of industry as well. Muswellbrook's quite a diverse place.
The show will wrap up tomorrow afternoon. And sweltering heat in the Upper Hunter today. Temperatures right up into the high 30s, 37 for Singleton, 36 at Scone today. A top of 35 at Maitland, 31 in Newcastle and 35 for Lake Macquarie. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead. The world's biggest iceberg runs aground, posing new dangers. A US influencer filmed taking a wombat joey away from its mum fires back at Australia. And a rescue mission blasts off to collect NASA's stranded astronauts.
Honestly, Albie, HelloFresh has made planning feeding time as easy for us humans as it is for you guys.
Look, you know I love you, Jarvis, but there's just no way you'd be able to get dinner on the table in under 20 minutes like this.
Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. Less stress, more variety, no one getting prickly about dinner. No offence. Beautiful.
Where's mine?
HelloFresh, hello dinner.
Hold off on cosmetic skin procedures and try L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Laser Triple Action Day Cream, $27.49 at Chemist Warehouse. The powerful 3-in-1 formula smooths the appearance of wrinkles, visibly firms and brightens skin. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
Head & Shoulders is launching something huge. The Bare Minimum. Minimal ingredients anti-dandruff shampoo with clinically proven dandruff protection. Head & Shoulders Bare. Job done.
It's days like these. Rediscovering a new freedom. Endless fun. Exploring with friends. Living in a luxury home. In a luxury world-class resort. Allowing myself to breathe. And finding myself again and again. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
So, Robbo's dropping by later.
To Bricky.
Isn't he a mountain climber?
You mean the president of the fishing club? Nah, he's the real Iron Man.
He's a lifesaver.
He can shed his skin.
He can read minds. He's many things to many people, Robbo.
Drives a BT50, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, England. You've sent us all your robes.
You came here to find your son.
If you want to survive in this country, you've got to be ruthless.
What the hell were you thinking?
I was trying to get us the house I promised.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. On now at Nick Scully.
Go Harvey Norman now and enjoy a bonus Miele upgrade. Receive an upgrade to additional features valued up to $950 on selected Miele appliances. Upgrade to a self-cleaning Miele oven valued up to $700. Induction cooktop upgrade to dual zone flexibility valued up to $950. Dishwasher upgrade to auto dispensing valued up to $650. Miele washer upgrade to quick wash and auto dispensing valued up to $400. But hurry, limited time only. Receive your bonus Miele upgrade at Harvey Norman now.
Go!
A US influencer who fled Australia after snatching a baby wombat from its mother has responded to backlash, releasing a statement on Instagram. Samantha Jones says she has done a great deal of reflection and that she is sorry for the distress. She also took a swipe at the Australian government, saying it permits the slaughter of wombats and that Australians should not be blind to their own country. The world's biggest iceberg, which is almost 4 times the size of Canberra, has run aground near a remote island off Antarctica. The trillion-tonne slab of ice, named A23A, now poses a risk to millions of marine animals.
A megaberg near the island of South Georgia.
It looks like it's the horizon, but it's not. Well, I think it's safe to say we found it.
A23A, the world's largest iceberg, stuck 80 kilometres off the small British overseas territory, which is home to millions of penguins, seals and other marine life.
The South Georgia and South Sandwich maritime zone is enormous, as it's 1.2 million square kilometres of ocean. It's a vast area.
But A23A isn't small either. It's almost 4 times the size of Canberra, at more than 3,100 square kilometres. It's nearly 300 metres tall, not far off Melbourne's Eureka Tower. And it weighs around 1 trillion tonnes. Footage shows the megaberg breaking, and there are concerns the melting ice could force the food for millions of marine animals deeper underwater. The megaberg's movements are a reminder of Antarctica's rapidly melting ice caused by global warming. In 1986, A23A broke off from Antarctica but remained aground in the Weddell Sea until 2020 when it started moving north. 5 years on, the huge slab of ice has now halted, but for how long? In London, Hannah Sinclair, NBN News.
The captain of a cargo ship which collided with an oil tanker off the coast of the UK has now been charged with gross negligence manslaughter. The 59-year-old Russian man is due to face court in the coming hours. One of the cargo ship's crew members is missing and presumed dead, while 36 others were rescued from the water. Helicopters will be permanently restricted from flying on the route near Washington DC's airport, where a passenger plane and Army helicopter collided mid-air in January. 67 people were killed, making it the deadliest aircraft. Former Philippine president has made his first appearance at the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands. It comes only days after his arrest in Manila, prosecutors accusing the 79-year-old of forming death squads which killed thousands of drug dealers and users during his war on drugs. His daughter, currently the country's vice president, arriving at court to support her father. This SpaceX rocket is on its way to collect 2 NASA astronauts who have been stuck in space for 9 months. If all goes to plan, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams will return to Earth next week. 4 new International Space Station astronauts will take their place. 136,000 people have braved soaring temperatures at Melbourne's Albert Park to watch today's qualifying. Australia's Oscar Piastri, along with Lando Norris, locking out the front row for tomorrow's race.
Only a 7-time world champion could draw a crowd like this. Formula One fans fighting for pole position front and centre for Sir Lewis Hamilton and his latest fashion statement.
Everything's the first time. Seeing everyone in red that's a part of our team.
Aussie rookie Jack Doohan flying under the radar but still enjoying the race weekend. The first chance for fans to get to know the son of a gun.
So this is a pretty impressive and pretty special.
Doohan was knocked out in the second round of qualifying as temperatures in the cockpit soared to 40 degrees. Oscar Piastri almost broke the Australian curse to get his first pole position at Albert Park.
Piastri fast is by a long way.
But he was pipped by teammate Lando Norris.
Norris crosses the line and he takes pole.
Australia's next Formula One hope still sitting pretty on the front row for race day.
So little between them.
If you thought it was hot on the track, spare a thought for fans battling another sellout crowd.
How are you holding up in the heat?
Oh, I'm struggling. We are all melting, obviously.
These fanatics might not have a whole lot in common when it comes to teams and drivers, but today they all agree.
It's a bit hot, very hot.
It is hot.
The Porsche Power Icon's immersive experience providing some much-needed reprieve.
I think it was really cool, really immersive and a nice break from being outside in the heat.
I really love the texture of the leather and it just looks really sporty to me.
The excitement echoed by Porsche ambassador Mark Webber, the former Grand Prix winner, hot off the track after mentoring our homegrown hero.
Oscar, as we know, cool cat. He's very relaxed, very focused, of course, very driven. He's very competitive, doesn't like losing.
The McLaren boy averaging more than 250 kilometres an hour on the Albert Park circuit.
Should we see if we can beat that time?
Let's go.
Let's give it a go.
After all, we couldn't let the drivers have all the fun, so it was our turn to kit up and hit the track. Amber Johnston, NBN News.
Coming up next, Amazon's $13 billion investment in Australia to boost AI. Amid global tariff uncertainty, the US winemakers looking to come here. And Aussie surfers surpass a paddle out world record.
At Coles, we go to great lengths for braised beef and lamb.
Ladies and gentlemen, your grass is served.
100% Aussie and grass-fed to taste. Only at Coles.
The Good Guys doorbuster deals are on now. Get this Hisense QLED TV, $1,695. Over $360 off this Westinghouse fridge. This Dyson Gen 5 Detect, $995. Plus this LG soundbar, $495. Doorbuster deals only at The Good Guys.
What's your kid's way to discover? Like a precision engineer? Like a demolition expert? Or a treasure hunter? What's your kid's way? Kinder Surprise. 1,000 ways to love it.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
With Terry Shear, we're more comfortable about our investment property.
Landlord insurance for just $1.50 or less per day. Get a quote, call Terry Shear or go online.
It's the Mitsubishi factory clearance, and you're good to go with up to $3,000 bonus on select vehicles. Go all out in style with Eclipse Cross and Outlander Petrol. Or go new places with Pajero Sport and Trident. Plus, get up to $2,000 in customer loyalty bonus on the Trident range. All backed by Australia's first 10-year warranty with 10 years cap price servicing. You're good to go with Mitsubishi.
How's biz, Ash?
Great, especially with the help of Xero accounting software. I can keep my cash flow flowing by giving customers more ways to pay.
Search Xero with an X!
As I said the last time, I'm just the sign guy.
Come on, friend to friend. What's the house worth?
Oh, I don't know, what's anything really worth?
That's deep.
No property price estimates trusted by the banks. Download the Domain app.
Unlock unbeatable deals at your local Better. Score a bonus Better gift card up to $300 on selected fridges, TVs, washers, cooking and more. Plus, you can buy now, pay later at over 150 stores nationwide. Go local. That's Better.
Go Harvey Norman. Everything you need for your bathroom renovation. Save up to a massive 70% off Pravat tapware and showers. Plus great deals on freestanding baths from just $699. Get in now and save at Harvey Norman, your bathroom specialists.
Amazon is pumping $13 billion into its Australian data centres to upgrade the power of local artificial intelligence. Companies are bracing employees for change, with the technology shaking up everything from how we write to how golfers improve their swing.
With a swing, sensors and the power of AI, Golf Australia is turning data overload into an easy-to-understand coach.
Let's work on squaring that face by feeling like you're rotating your hands.
Imagine how complex that could be for someone who's getting into golf for the first time and just wanting to improve.
And whether you realise it or not, AI is finding its way into everything from fridges to your phone, and even creating music inside popular kids' video games like Roblox.
That has been played over 450 million times, so that is a lot of people dancing to Australian AI.
Chatbots like ChatGPT and DeepSeek may get most of the headlines, but behind the scenes the race is on to control the computers that power them. With Amazon, Google and Microsoft investing billions into their own chips, promising to change the way we work.
AI will be here whether we like it or not, and so it's around how can people understand what they need to do today to be relevant in the future.
That message was front and centre at Amazon's AWS Roadshow, which is visiting Melbourne, Sydney and Auckland this month. The company you probably know for online shopping and one-day delivery is all in on artificial intelligence. Over the next 2 years, it will spend $13 billion in Australia alone, upgrading its data centres and cloud computing.
The dream for the Australian employees is that once they adopt the AI technology, not only will their jobs be so much more efficient and fun, we've also seen that their pay will increase to 30% and it will create so much more jobs here locally.
Former banker Mark Carney has been sworn in as Canada's 24th Prime Minister. He'll now have to steer his country through a trade war and annexation threats from US President Donald Trump.
We will never, ever, in any way, shape or form, be part of the United States. America is not Canada.
The 59-year-old is expected to trigger a general election in the coming days. A lucky few could soon own a piece of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, a French charity launching a competition raffling off 50 stones from the building that were too damaged in the 2019 fire to be reused. The draw will raise money for the restoration of religious sites across France. Our wine market is about to be hit with a surge of the American tipple as producers eye Australia as a key growth area. Their interest comes at a time when our exports could be at risk, with President Donald Trump already threatening a 200% tariff on European wine.
America's wine-making capital, picturesque even in winter. For the Napa Valley, this is the equivalent of pre-season. In the months to come, the Californian sun and soil will work with a red or green grape, Mother Nature, and the craft of a connoisseur. What do you enjoy most about it being here?
You know, I just really enjoy being outside with the vineyards and then taking these grapes and turning it into wine and sharing it with the world.
And Australians are about to get a much bigger taste of what the Golden State has on offer.
There's personality, there's energy, it's those things that you look for in wines.
Curtis, or Gusawara, is the chief winemaker at Robert Mondavi Winery. For him, this is more than just a day job.
There's a little bit of magic in there, but a little bit of art, a little bit of science as well.
You see yourself as a magician?
I don't know about that. I just turn these grapes into beautiful wine with the team.
Down the road at Cardinal, winemaker Chris Carpenter is already eyeing off Australian consumers.
There's an affinity between our cultures, obviously. We speak the same language, somewhat. I mean, you guys speak a little differently than us.
Whether it's Plonk or Vino, this one is available to Australians at more than $600 a bottle. Chris also produces in South Australia to tantalise the palate of the American consumer. Have you got a favourite out of these three?
Well, the one that I have the most fun with and I feel the most challenged by actually is the Australian wine.
Winemaking is also a numbers game. American exports to Australia were valued at more than $12 million in the 10 months to October, compared to the $340 million worth of Australian wine pouring into the US market in a year. But the winemakers in this world-famous grape-growing region insist this latest move isn't about competition. Rather, they say it's about expanding the relationship between two countries where the love of a good vintage is high.
I don't think Australian winemakers need to be worried that American winemakers, are embarking on a new frontier. Rather, we just feel like we've got consumers who love our wine.
Australia's Treasury Wine Estates exports down under and returns the flavour. The world-renowned Penfolds has its own vintage, made in the Napa Valley.
We have some of the most iconic brands here in the US, and it's a big market.
But here, where the fruits of success are literally fruit, winemakers are hoping to have Australians dreaming of Californian magic.
So abracadabra.
In Napa Valley, California, Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
Still in America, and Donald Trump has been accidentally hit in the face with a microphone during a press conference in the US state of Maryland. The president raising his eyebrows at the reporter's mishap.
She just became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that?
It came moments after he tripped up the stairs to Marine One after helping Elon Musk's son. Former pro surfer and mental health advocate Blake Johnston has led the charge for a world record attempt paddle out in Sydney. Huntington Beach in the US has held the world record for the biggest effort with 511 people. Today, 1,027 hit the water in Cronulla. A perfect day for it too. It's time for sport now with Sophie Scanlon, and Wayne Bennett's magic is working at the Rabbitohs, Soph.
Yes, good evening, Jane. They are now 2 from 2 this season after breaking the Dragons' hearts. Next, at South's young gun Jamie Humphries' nerves of steel to snatch victory in a thriller. Also ahead, the prognosis from a horror night of injuries. Tommy Turbo, DCE and Dylan Edwards all facing time on the sideline. Plus, Dylan...
What does it mean to go your own way? It's knowing that being different is always a good thing. Own it in the new 7-seat Isuzu MU-X SUV.
Go Harvey Norman for your contemporary home. New exclusive leather designs with the luxury of powered reclining actions. Dine in style with stunning designs. Furniture designed for the modern lifestyle. Smart designs to fit your space. Be inspired in store at Harvey Norman now.
The fruit smoothies, they're absolutely beautiful, and I would recommend the Jumpstart Go program. My dad has lost 18 kilos and I've lost 12 kilos. I feel amazing.
Eat healthier, live happier with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Go.
What's your kid's way to discover? Like a precision engineer? Like a demolition expert? Or a treasure hunter? What's your kid's way? Kinder Surprise. 1,000 ways to love it.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on all your favourite brands like Oral-B IO3 electric toothbrush, Ego QV selected range and FBX selected range. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
Made by Australia.
Hearing Australia, Reader's Digest's most trusted hearing brand 4 years running, is offering free 15-minute hearing checks for adults and $0 fully subsidised hearing aids for eligible pensioners.
Hearing Australia.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like more doctors and nurses to take care of us in later life. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
Before you start, there's where on earth do I start? Then that advice from Inspirations Paint. Okay, let's go.
Harvey Norman floors are the floors Aussie homes are built on. Up to 20% off wool carpets, naturally warm and soft underfoot. Up to 20% off hybrid flooring, versatile, durable and great designs.
Your next flooring project's covered at Harvey Norman.
The Rabbitohs have defied fresh injuries in the fierce Wollongong heat to start the season with back-to-back wins. Halfback Jamie Humphries was the hero against the disappointing Dragons, kicking a field goal in the final minutes for a 25-24 victory.
The Wayne's message, keeping it really simple and just working for your mate, that's kind of all we're looking to do.
In just his third NRL game, Jamie Humphries Dodd.
I mean, his goal kicking for us, it's doing all our long kicks, dropped a field goal today, and it's just, and we haven't put any pressure on him to do that. He just stepped up and put his hand up and said, I can do that.
South.
Not good enough.
Tom Marriott, NBN News.
The Sharks are on track to bounce back from their season-opening loss in Las Vegas after going down to the Premiers in Sin City. Cronulla holds a 16-6 lead over the Cowboys at half-time in Townsville. Sea Eagles coach Anthony Seibold has played down any concerns about Tom Trbojević's fitness despite the fullback needing scans on his latest hamstring injury. Skipper Daly Cherry Evans was also injured in a shock loss against the Warriors, while Panther Dylan Edwards has a worrying groin issue.
The Sea Eagles landing in Sydney with all eyes on their two most influential players, Daly Cherry Evans and Tom Trbojević.
The good news is that both up and about and in pretty good spirits this morning.
The skipper expects to be fit to face the Raiders next Sunday despite collapsing with back spasms in Manly's 36-16 loss to the Warriors. Trbojević was forced off with a seventh hamstring-related issue in 7 years.
The latest is that he's got a little bit of tightness through his lower back and left handed. Medical staff aren't too concerned, but he'll get a scan tomorrow just to be certain with everything.
The NRL is investigating this incident involving Gordon Chan Kum Tong and a Warriors fan who was allegedly abusing Jake Trbojević. Jake's rep teammate Dylan Edwards is awaiting scan results on a groin injury he suffered in Penrith's shock 38-32 loss to the Roosters.
Wasn't too bad, it was good and tried out like I would have liked, so yeah, just come off. Fingers crossed I'll be right.
Coach Cleary and his bloodied son conceding the Premiers got ahead of themselves.
That game was lost before we got here, I think.
It was frustrating, but maybe that's all we needed. Maybe we were just a little bit complacent, and at the end of the day, Roosters out-competed us, and that's something we pride ourselves on, and that's where the game was lost.
And this is the moment the game was won on the final play of the match. The Roosters enjoying their first win in 11 matches against the Panthers after last week's 50-14 Broncos bashing.
I reckon that's our greatest win as a club. The amount of people we have out, the amount of young boys we got against the Premiers, that was unbelievable.
Zach Bailey, NBN News.
Dylan Brown's decision to leave the Eels for a 10-year, $14 million deal with the Knights certainly didn't shock his coach.
I wasn't surprised after I heard what the deal was for Dylan and the club. It's just good to put it to bed, make a decision, and we'll move on.
Jason Riles says his players moved on quickly and won't be haunted by their 56-18 round one thrashing against the Storm. Parramatta's opponents tomorrow, the Tigers, say they have found an unexpected leader in recruit Terrell May.
Since the moment we signed Terrell, he's been invested in everything we've done, put his body in a real good position to be able to play big minutes and, become a real leader in our forward pack.
Marshall was tight-lipped on reports Terrell's brother Taylon could join the Tigers after being cleared to return to NRL. The Bulldogs are back at Belmore tomorrow to take on the Titans, who welcome back Tino Fa'asuamalawi. The Gold Coast skipper hasn't played since rupturing his ACL against Canterbury last year.
He's a world-class player. He's one of the best front rowers in the game, or middles in the game, and it's good to see him back on the field, but we're going to have to be really good and do a job on him tomorrow.
The Dogs are aiming to begin a season with back-to-back wins for the first time since 2016. The Swans and Lions are locked in a tight AFL Grand Final rematch at the SCG. Sydney opened up a 23-point lead in the first quarter before Brisbane launched a fight back. At three-quarter time, the Lions lead 70-60. The Waratahs are looking for 4 straight wins to start the Super Rugby season when they face arch rivals the Reds tonight. Michael Atkinson and Tim Horan have the late mail.
Super Rugby Pacific Round 5 culminates in a massive Aussie derby. Tim Horan, Wallabies and Queensland legend alongside me. There's no bigger game in rugby union in this country than Queensland taking on New South Wales.
It's incredible. I think when the Super Rugby draw comes out, everyone circles Queensland versus New South Wales. First time here up at Suncorp Stadium this year, and can't wait. I think the Queensland team's on a good roll, but for New South Wales Waratahs winning their first 3 games, haven't done that in a long time.
Absolutely, a chance to go 4 on the trot to start the season, first time since 2009. They do have a few injuries though. The captain and scrum half Jake Gordon is out. Young Teddy Wilson will start at halfback. Yeah, great opportunity for Teddy Wilson. He's obviously captained the under-20s a couple of years ago. His father, David Wilson, I played with at the Queensland Reds for over 100 games. He, of course, he's a jumpy little number 9 and someone that that match-up between him and Tate McDermott will be one to watch. Do you reckon his dad's back in Queensland or New South Wales?
He'll be back in New South Wales today.
Not sure about that. Another page in a 140-plus year history set to be written here tonight at Suncorp Stadium.
Still to come, Oscar Piastri's blistering qualifying performance ahead of his home Grand Prix and a career first for freestyle skier Abby Harrigan.
Pick up a sweet treat from Macca's delicious new Biscoff range. Well, he understood the assignment. Macca's new Biscoff range, available now.
Looks like there's a new chicken in town. Yep, Aldi's Aussie-made Southern-style chicken portions. Now only $10.99 per kilo.
Hey, what's going on?
Aldi, good different.
You never go cold on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the corn and the ice cream, we're better together. Girl, you so bold, it's usual. You never go cold. You never go. You never go. You never go on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the corn and the
holiday in every way with Royal Caribbean.
How do I bring up consent?
Do I have to ask every time?
Is it too late to talk about it?
If we don't know the answers, how will our kids? Check your understanding at consent.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
With Terry Shear, we're more comfortable about our investment property.
Landlord insurance for just $1.50 or less per day. Get a quote, call Terry Shear or go online.
You can see lots of stars in Cobden, Western Victoria, the home of Western Star, where for over 95 years we've created not just butter, but a star. Western Star. More than butter.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. On now at Nick Scully.
Blocked drains? Don't stress. Fluid Plumbing will dispatch a plumber to you the same day when you call before midday. With our high-pressure blaster and remote camera, we'll clear your blocked drain for just $99. Blocked drains cleared fast.
Give us a call today.
Go Harvey Norman for great deals on mobiles. Motorola G55 save 50, now $248. Save 100 on Motorola Edge 50 Fusion, now under $500. Samsung Galaxy A16 now only $318. At Harvey Norman now.
Go!
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman for everything you need in furniture, bedding, home appliances and technology.
Oscar Piastri will start his home Grand Prix from second behind McLaren teammate Lando Norris. It was a good day for the locals with Jack Doohan qualifying 14th fastest for his first Australian Grand Prix.
Starting this
Another medal in a stellar season on the slopes for Australia. 22-year-old freestyle skier Abby Harrigan finishing second in the slopestyle World Cup event in the French Alps to claim her first career podium. Sprint sensation Gwot has powered to another impressive 100 metres win, this time at the Queensland Athletics Championships. Gwot will be in action again tomorrow in the 200. The Jets men are out to break their record longest unbeaten streak when they face Western United tomorrow night. The women are on a winning run of their own, hoping for 3 from 3 when they face Brisbane Roar. Off the back of 2 home wins, the Jets now have their work cut out in Brisbane.
I think they'll be desperate for a result, a home game. They always get a good crowd up there as well. So probably with everything that's going on in Brisbane at the moment, it might be one of the only sporting events on in Brisbane.
Newcastle's coach Ryan Campbell sticking to the mindset of one game at a time, currently sitting 8 points outside of the top 6.
Obviously, it's just nice winning, that feeling of winning and being around a group when they're winning. So, yeah, we haven't looked too far into it, to be honest. I wouldn't even know how far we're behind in the top 6.
Me and Libby actually looked at it yesterday and we went, we're still pretty close, like considering even you look at the men's table and I think we're probably closer than them.
The last time the Jets met the Roar, they were smashed 6-1, but they're out to cause an upset.
It's probably one of those games where we're not really going to know until we get out there. But yeah, I think they have hit a little bit of a slump, but they've still got really good players and players that can turn one on.
Meanwhile, in the NPLW, it was a high-scoring affair in Broadmeadow, but not in Magic's favour. Visitors Lake Macquarie got ahead by 2 before the host Gemma Lawson was given her marching orders. The Roosters kept crowing, scoring 8 unanswered goals before the Magic got one back. Broadmeadow defeated 8-1. Stockton's batsmen will have their work cut out for them on day 2 of their semi-final after Merewether set a 240-run target today. Adrian Chadd took 2 early wickets for the Seagulls before Harry Price and Patrick Moore steadied the ship for Merewether. Lake Macquarie's Will Ryan has joined 5th place team Denmark ahead of the SailGP's Los Angeles event. The wing trimmer is only on loan though from Australia's Flying Roo for the American doubleheader. Julian Wilson's fairy tale comeback to professional surfing is on track, winning his first event back today at Newcastle Beach. The victory in the Surf Fest qualifying Series 1000 event didn't come easy though. The Olympian was trailing for most of his heat. Surrounded by friends and family, Julian Wilson is back.
Felt so many nerves the last 3 days, haven't felt that for a long time, literally since I competed at the Olympics.
Up against young gun Axel Carrotta, Wilson struggled to land his airs and forced to make his move late, winning with a score of 13.7.
No matter the result, I felt like I got some really good rounds in with some really strong competition, and obviously to win is icing on the cake, and it kind of solidifies my big decision, I guess.
It wasn't the fairy tale return to surfing for East End board rider Sarah Baum on her home break, falling short by less than a point to Queenslander Charlie Stokes in the final.
I'm just really stoked with my performance. It really shows that the work that I've been doing in the off-season has been paying off, and I'm really happy with my effort.
Up next, for both of the Novocastrians, the Challenger Series season opener at Merewether Beach in June.
I'll just get back to the gym, get back to focusing on boards and surfing Merewether as much as I can.
But Newcastle Beach was certainly the place to be today. It was the perfect day for it.
It sure was. Very hot across the region. Thank you, Sophie. It was like a return to summer today. We'll check all of your local weather details, including our 7-day outlook right after the break.
Five years on from COVID-19.
They called you patient zero.
The man we blamed for spreading the virus. A current affair next.
Discover Norfolk Island, a World Heritage Paradise with Pacifica Travel. Exclusive package deals on sale now. But hurry, sail in soon. Call 1-800-NORFOK or visit pacificatravel.com.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Not so good for that. But for a brilliant bake they'll love to bits, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
New Nivea Brightening Micellar Water. Cleanse and remove even waterproof makeup with 5% serum-infused micellar water with vitamin C, revealing instantly glowing skin. Nivea Serum-Infused Brightening Micellar Water. Nivea is for skin.
At Coles, get fresh Aussie salmon for a classic seafood spread. And right now, get half-price Coles fresh Tasmanian salmon portions, skin off from the deli, just $23 a kilo. Make dinner for less with great value, hands down, at Coles.
The world is changing, and so is AGL. It's why more Australians are changing to solar, batteries, to electric vehicles, and updating to efficient all-electric homes to save on their bills. Discover how you can join the change with AGL.
Tank World Autumn Madness Sale. Absolutely crazy savings with our best-selling slimline tanks starting from just $9.35. These crazy sale prices are for 10 days only. Tank World, 1800 68 69 70.
So, expanding the warehouse.
Yeah, stock is moving.
Your numbers are looking good.
If decisions feel wild, our business experts can help you wrangle them.
Let's do it.
NAB. More than money.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. On now at Nick Scali.
We can see more of the world than ever. With Bridgestone Tech Check, you see what needs repairing now and what can wait, so you can go with confidence. Bridgestone Select Tyre and Auto.
Go Harvey Norman for up to 20% off Lenovo and Acer computers. Acer Aspire Go save $150 now $348. Save $230 on the Core i5 Acer Aspire Go. Get in quick for this powerful Lenovo with 1TB storage at Harvey Norman now. Go! Well, what do you think?
Oh, what? I thought I was getting a mole removed.
If you have been a victim of medical negligence or if you have a workers' compensation claim, United Legal can help make the process easy and confidential.
A help company would respond to the rise in extreme weather events by creating Help Nation, a nationwide initiative to help get communities prepared for them. So, that's what we're doing. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
We've had a burst of autumn heat reaching the mid to high 30s in the Upper Hunter today. Some baking heat again tomorrow across the entire region. A moist, unstable air mass is maintaining showers and storms across the tropics, mostly fine for New South Wales on the satellite. Bright cloud in the nation's southeast is bringing patchy rain to Tasmania. Tomorrow, moist onshore winds will send showers across coastal Queensland. A strong front will make its way north, bringing gusty winds and showers to the nation's southeast, with snow in Tasmania. Hot and very gusty winds in the east ahead of that front. Some fog inland early this morning, otherwise a mostly sunny afternoon with light winds. Still pretty muggy. It felt more like summer today. 31 degrees for Nobbies, 35 at Maitland, 36 at Cessnock, hitting 38 today at Singleton. The forecast for tomorrow, hot again, mostly sunny with strong to warm northwesterly winds from the morning. You can see consistent widespread temperatures tomorrow around that 34-35 degree mark. 35 for Scone and Merriwar, 35 also for Maitland and Tocal, 34 the top at Nelson Bay and 35 for Toronto, 34 in Newcastle. Coastal waters information, seas at 2 metres with a 1 metre swell, northerlies up to 25 knots. Sunrise at 6:52, sunset at 7:11, the morning high tide at 10:30 a.m. And the outlook for Newcastle, things change on Monday. Cloudy with a slight chance of a shower in the morning. Moderate northwesterly winds will shift to strong south-southeasterlies during the morning with temperatures to drop. So a top of 34 degrees tomorrow, back to just 23 on Monday, 24 for Tuesday. The outlook for Scone, 35 degrees tomorrow, back to 25 on Monday with a southerly change, 27 for Tuesday, and then temperatures climbing again later in the week. And finally for Gosford, a top of 35 degrees tomorrow, 17 to 22 the range on Monday, 24 on Tuesday. The only pandas in the southern hemisphere settling into their new home at Adelaide Zoo a few months after their arrival from China. Female Yi Lun exploring the bamboo forest. It's hoped they'll breed and boost panda stocks. And before we go tonight, some news of our own. Our Sophie is heading off on an overseas adventure. She's been a huge asset to our team over the last 4 years, and Sophie will be missed very much by us and the whole audience at home.
Thank you so much, Jane, and truly thank you to everyone. It has been the greatest pleasure.
We hope we'll get her back one day, but from all the team here for now, thanks for your company. Good night.
Hello, I'm Deb Knight. Welcome to A Current Affair. It felt apocalyptic, the end of days, and it's hard to believe that it was 5 years ago that the world came to a grinding halt. It is triggering to think about. Empty streets and lockdowns, mass vaccinations and quarantines. COVID-19 was like nothing we've lived through before, and we are still feeling the aftermath.
When we first heard the word COVID-19, we didn't take a lot of notice. Australia was in the grip of the Black Summer bushfires, unaware we'd soon battle a new, even more deadly global emergency.
Good evening. It's a health emergency that has already killed 41 people in China, and tonight there's confirmation the coronavirus has reached Australia.
That was the 25th of January 2020.
Formula One fans are furious after they were left waiting in queues to be told the Albert Park race had been cancelled.
Soon after, the entire world stopped. And who declared COVID-19 a pandemic? Nobody in Australia or anywhere in the world was prepared for what would follow.
COVID has sent Australia's largest city and surrounds into complete lockdown for the next 2 weeks.
Cruise passengers across the globe found themselves stranded on COVID-stricken ships. The Ruby Princess docked in Sydney Harbour and 2,700 passengers disembarked at Circular Quay. In less than a week, there were 133 confirmed COVID cases from the cruise.
And the deaths keep coming, including grandmother Janet Lieben in Orange Base Hospital.
We were urged to socially distance and stay home. Panic buying hit a new low as the ugly side of fear set in.
People are panic buying because they're scared, they feel helpless and they don't know what is about to happen.
Mandatory 14-day quarantine at designated hotels and other facilities was implemented. COVID-19 was just as much a social and economic crisis as it was a health disaster.
This is life and death. It's not a joke. It's not a person wanting to play football in another state, which apparently that's okay.
In October 2020, Gary Ralph was battling an aggressive brain tumour. Doctors in Brisbane told him and wife Wendy the cancer was inoperable. Controversial surgeon Dr. Charlie Teo took on the case, agreeing to perform surgery on Brian in Sydney.
We're okay, yeah? We're okay. Yeah. His life expectancy was 12 months, and we just wanted more time. Just more time, that's all we wanted.
Gary lost his speech, his vision was impaired, and he couldn't hold a pen. His only form of communication, writing letters on Wendy's hand.
It's all right, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
Following Brian's time-saving surgery, the couple attempted to return to Brisbane.
We had to come back as soon as possible and get him he had to have immediate radiation and chemotherapy.
But borders were closed and they were locked out of their home state.
I reached out to ACA and what should have been so personal in our life become very public. We had to get home for Gary to start immediate treatment.
6 days after brain surgery, Brian and Wendy boarded a plane home, but they were whisked away from the airport into mandatory hotel quarantine.
I think it's an abomination that this is being done to you.
At the time, A Current Affair helped the couple get access to a Medivac hotel.
Every minute is precious and he is fragile. He is exactly why exemptions exist.
Eventually, our campaign allowed the couple to complete their quarantine at home, but no medical care was given.
So I could call his oncologist and describe as a layperson and as a wife what was happening to my husband. He couldn't feed himself, he couldn't get up out of bed, he couldn't toilet himself, and there was no help or care.
All the while, Queensland health workers would visit the home to check that Gary and Wendy were following the rules.
We had nowhere to go, and I was never going to leave him. He already was deteriorating so fast that he could barely walk.
Gary died on the 29th of October 2020. His final days were torturous.
I honestly believe that the decisions that were made by our state government shortened Gary's life. I honestly believe that they took precious time away from us. He only lasted a few more weeks, but he had no treatment. So he had no hope.
4.5 years later, Wendy is struggling to move on. Queensland border barricades were in place for 471 days. 3.7 million vehicles were checked in the process. The world was under siege from an invisible enemy.
In the heart of New York City, one of the world's most famous tourist destinations, in a landmark we all know so well, Central Park, we find a field hospital.
True heroes were working inside our hospitals and on the front line.
When I started doing the COVID testing clinic for the first couple of months, I thought I'm going to die every day of those months.
Dr. Jamal Rifi gave up his front yard and his retirement plans to care for his Canterbury Bankstown community in southwest Sydney.
We have seen 700 people in one day. Tested them, examined them, and answered all their questions.
The GP turned his driveway into a makeshift testing clinic with tents from Supercheap Auto and his surgery into a vaccination hub.
Every day we used to do 400 vaccine, and we were only limited by the amount of vaccine that we have. I reckon we had about 38,000 vaccine that we have given for the people of New South Wales.
34 exhausting months on the job took its toll.
As I talk about COVID burnout, I reckon I just realized that I was cooked inside out after COVID.
Why do you think it is that COVID took such a toll on you?
I felt there is a gap that I needed to fill. I just didn't realize it was such a huge gap.
Dr. Rifi's recently returned to work after a much-needed 2-year break.
Would you do it all again?
Yes, I would, without any hesitation.
Whilst we have, and I truly believe this, the best health system in the world, it is so fragile.
Dr. Nick Coatsworth was the Federal Deputy Chief Medical Officer at the time, guiding us through uncharted territory and COVID vaccinations.
When people cannot do their jobs and are threatened with termination and indeed terminated from their employment because they don't get vaccinated, that is forcing. And unfortunately in COVID, there was emerging evidence but during the mandates for vaccines that the vaccines did not stop transmission and that indeed young men in particular were subject to a side effect from mRNA vaccines, which was inflammation of the heart. And so as soon as we knew those two things, the mandates effectively became unethical and we should have abandoned them straight away.
As our freedom was taken away, our aged care sector bore the brunt of the virus. Victoria became the lockdown capital of the world, the Andrews government shutting the state down 7 times. Many still live with the anxiety of being isolated for so long, and the decision made Premier Daniel Andrews terribly unpopular, arguably contributing to the end of his political career.
We can do it again, and we will do it again.
In one case, 3,000 residents were trapped in 9 public housing towers as the virus took hold.
And as you can see here, police are manning every entry and exit to this building, and that is where they will stay for at least the next 9 days.
Is there someone yelling at you from that building, Sam?
There is. So there's just a lady up here who's become quite agitated. She's saying, what about all of us who've tested negative? Why can't we leave?
Melbourne experienced the longest cumulative lockdown of any city in the world. 262 consecutive days, almost 9 months in total. But some people considered themselves exempt.
Chapel Street's been through peaks and troughs before, so I think that everyone's kind of digging their heels in and knuckling down and doing what they have to get through, and then, you know, there'll be a silver lining on the other side.
We spoke to cafe owner Matt Lanigan in August 2020. At the time, 18 businesses on the iconic Melbourne shopping strip had closed. By 2021, Matt's cafe, Lucky Penny, shut its doors too.
We put our, blood, sweat and tears. When we took it over, it was an abandoned, vacant shop. We spent a fair bit of money on the fit out. We had created this community over 7 years.
Western Australia also experienced one of the world's longest border closures, 679 days. The pandemic roller coaster was a ride nobody wanted to be on.
There were journalists everywhere. Anywhere I went, they followed me, and I was like, as you said, I was a prisoner in my own home.
This is not a mistake. This is a bloke putting the whole of Sydney metropolitan area at risk.
Michael Podgoretsky was the limousine driver at the centre of a COVID cluster that plunged New South Wales into a traumatic 3.5-month lockdown.
What goes through your mind?
I remember when one of the media, Channel 7 I think it was, she was keep pressing the button.
Pressing the button on your intercom?
Yeah, Michael, are you there? Michael, are you there? And when government health official first told me that I have to isolate myself, she told me, if you come out onto the foyer, if you open the door, there's like $50,000 fine, 5 years in jail.
Michael claims he unknowingly caught the virus in June 2021 while transporting international flight crew from Sydney Airport. The driver and his wife became the state's first 2 local COVID-19 cases in 40 days.
Did you feel like you were putting yourself at risk by doing that job?
Yeah, every time, yes.
But you had to work?
I had to work, yeah. Bills piling up, you gotta work,
If you had passed COVID on to other people, you say unknowingly, how did that make you feel at the time?
It was horrible. I feel terrible. If that happened, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do harm to anybody,
Michael was investigated by police but never charged. The Delta outbreak led to more than 50,000 infections and 439 deaths in New South Wales.
They called you Patient Zero.
Patient Zero.
How did that make you feel at the time?
It was horrible. I didn't want to be it's a horrible name to have.
Just as the curve began to flatten again and state borders opened in December 2021, the Omicron variant spread rapidly around the country.
A year ago, we couldn't have contemplated, any of us, I think, the world we're living in today.
It wasn't until May 2023 that the World Health Organization declared the end of the pandemic phase of COVID-19. But as a society, the impact is everlasting.
I think the other thing we can't underestimate is the mental health impact of lockdowns, particularly on children and adolescents. If we go down this path in the future of these harsh restrictive measures, which are necessary for disease control, then we need to find a way to do it in as compassionate a way as possible. I'd call it compassionate disease control.
Now, 5 years on, the question has to be asked, are we prepared for the next pandemic? Dr. Nick Coatsworth isn't convinced.
State health departments need to be exercising themselves and their hospitals at least once a year for what their pandemic response is. Not just have, one piece of paper that has the pandemic plan that you dust off every 5 years to have a look at. Pandemic preparedness means regular exercising of capacity and capability across our whole health system.
it really is hard to think about it happening again, isn't it? But we do have to hope upon hope that we are prepared for a next time and that we don't make the same mistakes. It's also hard to believe it was 5 years ago. It's still so very close to home. Still to come, back on duty and loving it. The royal family keeping busy after health battles for King Charles and Princess Kate. We go to London for the latest.
Sunday. I came here to find my forever person, and I wholeheartedly hope that it's Jeff.
Love is at the crossroads.
I cannot be with someone who won't support me.
The only way ahead is the roar.
If I'm in a coma, I need to know that my husband's going to step up to the plate.
Heart-wrenching truth.
I don't believe you at all.
Stay, mate, or leave. Sunday at 7.
Northern New South Wales football premier competitions are back this weekend. Catch a match live and enjoy all the action. Details at northernnewsouthwalesfootball.com.au.
All right, you've got this. Let's get this cot home.
If you need help wrangling your money, we're right there with you. NAB, more than money.
For over 45 years, Hotondo Homes has been dedicated to helping families build their dream homes. Come on! Recognising that every family is unique, we offer a range of over 90 versatile home designs to choose from. So whether you're looking to build your first home, the perfect home for your growing family, or something different, our expert local teams can bring your new home journey to life.
News from the front. This is Delta. You got Maltese landing in. Doomben, Richmond, Randwick, Albion Park.
Okay, thanks, Delta.
Ladbroke, same race multi. Jump on early for every Group 1 this autumn carnival.
What's gambling really costing you?
Brilliant Broncos try!
Footy season's here. Get on board.
Reversing's tricky.
No worries. You're with Budget Direct.
Moneymag's Insurer of the Year. 8 years in a row.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
So, Robbo's dropping by later.
DeBricky.
Isn't he a mountain climber?
He's the real Iron Man.
He drives a BT50, right?
Yeah.
So, expanding the warehouse.
Yeah, stock is moving.
Your numbers are looking good.
If decisions feel wild, our business experts can help you wrangle them.
Let's do it.
NAB, more than money.
Well, thank you, England. You've sent us all your robes.
I wish you told me it was going to be this dressy.
Just said dressy.
Yeah, you didn't say dressy, did you?
If no one challenges anything, nothing ever changes.
Some say these bikinis shouldn't be banned.
But not Annie Roberts.
Put some clothes on yourself.
I've got clothes on, more than you.
The brand new season of £10 Poms, now streaming only on Stan.
Mate, bro? Oh, no. I think I'm ready to quit. Solid.
Global pop phenomenon Six the Musical has arrived at the Civic Theatre. Playing until the 4th of May, experience the ultimate night out with this 80-minute musical sensation. Hurry, book today.
Go Harvey Norman. Everything you need for your bathroom renovation. Save up to a massive 70% off Pravat tapware and showers. Plus great deals on freestanding baths from just $6.99. Get in now and save at Harvey Norman, your bathroom specialists.
Welcome back. It has been a tough 12 months for the royals, but if the last week is anything to go by, King Charles and Princess Kate are back. Both have been keeping busy, their diaries filling up after a year when their health was the focus. And some former royals are also popping their heads back up too. Royal editor of the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers, joins me now from London. Russell, we've been seeing a lot of King Charles and Princess Kate this week. They both look well. Are things starting to get back to normal for the royals?
Yeah, great to see you again, Deb. Well, what a year it has been, as you said. I remember last year in that sort of cascade of announcements from both Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace after the King and Princess of Wales were in hospital at the same time, just down the corridor from one another at one moment, and then within weeks of each other, both being diagnosed with cancer. And there was a certain period last year when nobody really understood how the monarchy was actually going to keep the wheels on the track, so to speak, because, you know, the two main players being out of action and nobody knew how long for was quite disconcerting, but fantastic to see both the King and Princess of Wales back at the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey this week, because we have really missed them, and it's been quite a start to the year, both looking to make up for lost time, but certainly trying to feel their way back to duties, I feel.
And it's fantastic to see them both looking so fit and well as seeing them out and about with their duties. But Will and Kate have been out and about separately too. The King, we know, is not likely to be stepping down from the throne anytime soon, but is this a signal that they are really establishing themselves for the future?
Well, certainly, I think there is one eye on the future. There has to be, because there had been so many months that had been lost to their various ailments. However, I think William and Kate have got a new path to tread, because they both have said in interviews. I remember being in South Africa with Prince William just a couple of months ago, where he was talking to the British media saying that things had changed. It had been his most brutal year, having to experience both his wife and his father having cancer. And I think things will change for them, certainly moving forward. They want to do things a little bit differently. And that starts with family first at the moment.
And they're all presenting a united front, but with the royals there's never a shortage of drama bubbling away underneath the surface. And the Commonwealth Day service was a bit of a reminder, really, of the rift between Harry and William, because that was the last time that we did see them together publicly. Is the relationship between Harry and William back on track in any form?
Well, it's astonishing. I mean, that was back in 2020, the last time we saw Harry and Meghan at the Commonwealth Day service, literally the few hours before they left their royal roles. And what a period that has been, both inside and outside the camp, I suppose. But in terms of Harry and William, I mean, they can be further from having a relationship. You know, a lot of things have happened, as we just discussed with the family. Harry and Meghan are doing their own thing. I mean, Meghan's off making TV shows and podcasts, and Harry's just trying to sort of pick up the pieces of where he left off. So I think, listen, they're very two different camps at the moment. The royal family have to get on with the business of running the firm, running the monarchy, and Harry and Meghan have been left to their own devices. But very, very sad occasions it's been over the last 5 years, but very, very different camps at the moment.
And at the same time, we're seeing a lot more of Meghan at the moment with the Netflix special where she's cooking and hanging out with friends. How has that been received?
Well, they'll tell you till they're blue in the face that no member of the royal family would watch it or listen to it, and they wouldn't comment on it. But maybe they have sort of piqued to their interest. I mean, everybody has been watching possibly so. As I said, it's the King's past music, talking about love of art, even so, you know, exactly. King wanted to put down their Commonwealth. He had, of course, formed for Princess Charles, but they are different things. And the rest, it's trying to a year out there.
Let's hope so. Good to talk. So. The bride, what a jump. Tenant in a condition. We are landlord. Why?
You the landlady.
Run rivalry night. Our defeated Warriors take on the
Miss a beat in the gas a month 27 ticket sale for 100 for gas with process Chelsea Street Public so this great at Gardens limited day.
Whatever you're with you, the stress super, the control is in your hands. Super protection cap. See how you could have time. Super yours. What in upset corporate in your side.
And now adult the perfect snack room project the price out different
The lounge and get to top so and recline like the current to $8 off and the call save $1,000 offer. Hey, man. This is good.
One is right, thanks.
What's
store bills are on there. Get $12 front load. It's LG TV $9 this side $3.99. 20% flow notice. At the good guy.
Cold week plenty long payments 1 hit across the Aussie.
like your altitude card.
That's true.
No, it's your back.
Extension here. Here's a
Don't let pain back. Good feet. We are in. Solution game. Starts with a driven SEO pain defeat. Your personal support $8 for the good and favour.
For 20 years, Plumbing trust part of the and communities. Our commitment to satisfaction and service always needed today.
Girls, it's been very exciting. Our friend dog. Now I'm the dog. Good night. Good night, big dog. Good night, girls. Sweet dream.
Next week, how does she at night?
Are you the landlord Australian?
One bedroom.
And your bum?
So,
Are you King Anti Honourable Tenant Amy?
That's week. You have tell us much hearing from and the code site.